Imagine living in a life where every day you wake up to not knowing the people around you, forgetting everything, and not knowing the simplest things in life. You just don't know what to do physically in order to survive. That's how it feels to be a person living with Alzheimer's. And as someone who grew up with 2 people in my family having Alzheimer's, living with someone who has Alzheimer's is a feeling that you cannot describe. Losing a family member before they actually die is one of the hardest things I've ever encountered. That's why I'm here today to talk about Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research. It's a foundation that helps research cures to find cures for Alzheimer's. It will help so many people if you donate. And so today I want to teach you about the benefits of this organization. The need for Alzheimer's research is huge. According to ALZ.org, 5.8 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's today. In 2050, approximately 4 million Americans will be living with Alzheimer's, and that's why we need to start researching more today. Also, Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. So that obviously Alzheimer's is very overlooked, and people need to be more aware of this Alzheimer's research. Now on to what Alzheimer's is and who it affects. The National Institute on Aging defines Alzheimer's as a disease that is irreversible progress of the brain disorder that slowly destroys memory and thinking skills and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest tasks. So it's slowly destroying the memory part of your brain, and eventually it just wipes it all out. It affects like the way you eat, what you crave, who you know, and how you are able to react to everyday life things. This damage initially appears to take place in what is called the hippocampus of the brain. It is the part of the brain that controls the memory. Now more about Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research Foundation. It is estimated that in 2010, the cost of healthcare and long-term care for people who have Alzheimer's, it was at $172 billion. And they calculate things like this so they can improve not only a cure for Alzheimer's, but also improve the care and health care for the people who have Alzheimer's, to help the family members and loved ones who help take care of them. Because more than 10.9 million are caring for loved ones without pay, including people like my family right now, who's caring for my grandfather who has Alzheimer's, and my mom only works 3 days a week so she can care for my grandpa. All right. According to CharityNavigator.com, Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research is ranked #1 as the best Alzheimer's charity. Your money will be going to Dr. Paul Greenard, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, which you can find more about him at cureals.org. It shows all his research that he does with the Fisher Center, and just pretty much sums up everything that he does, and has all his publishings on that website. The your impact of your donation is seen in these pictures above. If you even anything from $25 to $240, you'll be impacting lives of those people who have Alzheimer's and the people that are affected by those who have Alzheimer's. For instance, you can help donate biomedical supplies for researchers, for any equipment and facilities, and even $240 will pay for 1 full hour to run our entire laboratory. So overall, by choosing to donate to the Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research Foundation, you'll be helping more than 5 million people. research with Paul Greengard is growing so much every single day, and it is so important that we are donating to help them grow. It'll also reduce the cost of caregiving and help those families who are hurting so bad by Alzheimer's. So that's my presentation. Do we have any questions?
How have you personally been impacted by having family members with this disease?
Okay, so I had a godmother who was diagnosed with onset Alzheimer's when she was 47 years old. And to be able to grow with that was one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my life. I lost someone before she was dead, and that's literally the hardest thing ever, because you have this person in your life who you're used to, and then they just disappear. By the time they pass away, you're like, did I even remember who she was, like yesterday? Like, she's not the person who she was. And so that's the biggest impact I see on Alzheimer's, like the people who care for those people, is that they're losing their loved ones before they actually pass away. And that's why it's so important for us to have this research.
You mentioned that she got diagnosed when she was 47. That's pretty early, right?
Mm-hmm. Most times Alzheimer's affects senior citizens after the age of 70, and that's when your brain starts getting dementia, and so that is a very young age.
That makes sense.
Yes,
So based on your personal experience, does Alzheimer affect people in the sense that they can't do certain things, but they can do other certain things that are based on like muscle memory? So like
it depends on every single person. As I did this research, it looked like there was different situations based off of what the patient, every patient is different, but a lot of the time it is affecting your current memory and not your past memory. So if you learned how to do something when you were younger, then you were fine. Okay. Should I cut out some of the